Joy Behar has been a mainstay on the long-running talk show, The View, since the very start. Recently, however, she nearly had a bit of an accident during the show. For some fans, this brought to mind another incident with Behar that happened nearly 4 years prior. However, that wasn't the main takeaway a lot of fans had from the moment. Behar started her career in the 1980s. However, most people know her best as one of the co-hosts of The View. Behar has been part of the show since it started in 1997. Despite briefly leaving the show in 2013, she made a permanent return to the show in 2015, even having guest hosted in the interim. Throughout this time, Behar has given fans multiple memorable moments. Recently, the co-hosts received a visit from Hack's cast member and comedian Robby Hoffman. This was presented as part of Behar's Joy's Comedy Corner. At the end of the segment, however, Behar nearly had a bit of an accident. As seen on the show, Hoffman extended her hand for Behar to shake. However, the co-host appeared to lose her balance, even sticking out her leg as she began to slip. Behar tried to have a sense of humor about the situation, as she appeared to laugh it off. Taking this as a cue, the studio audience laughed with her as she regained her balance. For some viewers, the moment gave viewers déjà vu of an incident that happened nearly 4 years prior. In March 2022, Behar slipped to the ground during the show's opening moments as she walked out to the Hot Topics table. At the time, Behar joked, "25 years, that has never happened. Who do I sue?" She added, "I went flying. I just missed a step, as usual." As noted by AOL, when the show returned for a new season, the set saw a slight alteration. The New York-based studio had new seats that didn't swivel like the previous ones, likely to avoid similar incidents. With the more recent episode, fans also shared their excitement at seeing Behar's Comedy Corner segment return. As one fan shared on social media, "So happy that you brought the Comedy Corner back. Joy. Robby is super funny. We need more laughs, especially during these uncertain and stressful times." Another wrote, "Whoever runs their YouTube page, please make a playlist of Joy's Comedy Corner." What is your reaction to this recent moment on The View? Have you been keeping up with the show? Make sure you come back to TV Shows Ace for all the latest TV and celebrity news. For nearly 3 decades, mornings for millions of viewers have started the same way, coffee in hand, television glowing softly in the background, and the familiar roundtable discussions of The View filling living rooms across the country. Politics, pop culture, personal stories, everything was fair game. And at the center of it all, often delivering the sharpest punchlines and the quickest wit, was Joy Behar. She had been there from the beginning. When the show premiered in 1997, created by broadcast legend Barbara Walters, few could have predicted how influential it would become. The concept was simple: women from different generations and viewpoints discussing the issues of the day. But what made the show work, what made it stick, was personality. And Joy Behar had plenty of it. Joy Behar had spent years building her career before she ever sat at the now famous table. In the 1980s, she had carved out a reputation as a fearless stand-up comedian. Her humor was smart, a little biting, and always grounded in real-life observations. Whether she was talking about politics, relationships, or the absurdities of everyday life, audiences loved her ability to say what everyone else was thinking. By the time she joined The View, she had already appeared on comedy specials and television programs, but the daytime talk show gave her something different: a daily stage. And she used it well. Over the years, viewers came to expect Joy's sarcastic quips, her quick comebacks, and the occasional eye roll when debates got too heated. She didn't always agree with her fellow hosts, but that was part of the show's magic. Arguments turned into discussions. Discussions turned into viral moments. And more often than not, Joy Behar delivered the line that everyone remembered. Despite her popularity, Joy's journey on The View wasn't completely uninterrupted. In 2013, after 16 years on the program, she left the show. At the time, fans were stunned. The table felt different without her sharp humor cutting through tense moments. But as many longtime viewers suspected, the story wasn't over. Joy occasionally returned as a guest host, and the chemistry she had with the panel remained undeniable. Producers noticed. Fans noticed. So in 2015, the announcement finally came. Joy Behar was coming back, permanently. The audience reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Social media lit up with excitement. For many viewers, it felt like the show had regained one of its most essential ingredients. Years later, producers introduced a small segment designed perfectly for Joy's personality. It was called Joy's Comedy Corner. The concept was simple but effective. Joy would invite comedians to the show for a quick conversation and a few laughs. It gave the program a moment of levity in the middle of heavy discussions about politics and world events. And it reminded viewers of Joy's roots. One morning, the segment welcomed a rising comedic voice, Robby Hoffman. Hoffman had been gaining attention for her sharp humor and unique perspective. She was also part of the cast of the hit series Hacks. The energy in the studio that day was light and cheerful. The conversation between the two comedians flowed easily. They joked about stand-up life, awkward gigs, and the strange realities of performing in front of unpredictable audiences. The studio crowd loved it. Laughter filled the room again and again. For Joy, it was exactly the kind of segment she enjoyed most. As the segment wrapped up, the hosts prepared to transition back to the main discussion table. The studio audience applauded warmly. Robby Hoffman turned toward Joy with a friendly smile and extended her hand. "Thank you so much for having me," she said. Joy reached out to shake it. And then something unexpected happened. Her foot slipped. For a split second, it looked as if she might fall. Joy's leg shot forward instinctively as she tried to regain her balance. Her body tilted slightly, the movement quick but noticeable. The audience gasped. Even the camera operators seemed momentarily unsure how to frame the moment. But Joy Behar, veteran of live television, reacted instantly. Instead of panicking, she laughed. A big, unmistakable laugh. The laughter was contagious. The audience quickly realized Joy was fine, and the tension melted away. They laughed along with her. Joy steadied herself and shook her head with a grin. "Well," she joked, "that was almost my stunt double moment." The crowd erupted again. Moments like that were part of why audiences loved her. She never tried to hide the awkwardness of live television. Instead, she embraced it. After nearly 3 decades on air, Joy understood something important. Perfection isn't entertaining. Real moments are. And this one certainly counted. For many viewers watching at home, however, the moment felt oddly familiar, because something very similar had happened before. Nearly 4 years earlier, in March 2022, Joy had experienced another unexpected slip on the show. That morning had begun like countless others. The hosts walked out onto the stage to greet the audience before sitting at the Hot Topics table, the central area where the day's main discussions happened. Joy was walking toward her seat when suddenly, she missed a step. In an instant, She lost her balance and slipped to the floor. The audience gasped then, too. But true to form, Joy handled it with humor. As the hosts rushed to check on her, she laughed and said something that quickly went viral online. 25 years, she joked. That has never happened. Who do I sue? The studio exploded with laughter. Moments later, she added another line. I went flying. I just missed a step, as usual. The incident was harmless, but it did prompt some small changes behind the scenes. When the next season of The View began, viewers noticed something different about the set. The chairs. Previously, the hosts had used swivel seats that rotated easily. They looked stylish, but occasionally made movement around the table awkward. The new chairs didn't swivel. It was a subtle change, but producers hoped it would help prevent accidents like the one Joy experienced. For the most part, it worked. The show continued smoothly, with the hosts focusing on debates, interviews, and viral moments that kept audiences talking.
I said to Mark, we should, go out more. Look at this city where we live. We're sitting in the middle of it, and God forbid we ever leave our house. This is the year where we go out in New York.
Great. I'm going to have you lead that charge. You tell me where...
Why do I have to lead the charge? I came up with the idea.
No,
I'm the general.
No.
I'm the general. You're the soldier.
You tell me where to go, what time to be ready, and I'll go wherever you want.
Okay. You are the witnesses.
Because the conversation goes like this. I got off a plane on Monday from Italy, and we're going for a walk. And she's like, we should go out to dinner tonight. I go, we should.
Yeah, I wanted to carry on my grand tradition of not cooking for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, I said, we should. We should. And she said, where would you like to go? I'm like, wherever you want. We could go to that steak place. We could go to blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sounds great.
I named 4 restaurants.
Great. Sounds great. And then it gets to being time, like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, hey, I just got off a plane. You tell me where we're going. I don't want to make, you decide. I don't want to decide. I don't want to make the decision. Just tell me where I'm going.
Time out.
Time out. Wait,
no,
how many timeouts do you have left?
I'm going to put it on flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Okay, hold on. Just before you start, I would like a little honesty.
Yeah.